studio. So it was kind of, it's very unusual. So, and for that to be my first project, I got completely spoiled on it. Yeah. No, I didn't. There were some rumors that I think that I did, but they told me no. And in fact, I said so, and I was like, oh, I couldn't do other voices. Like I know I'm a video game fan myself. I'm just a stupid kid who likes to play around with voices and do my own thing. You know what I mean? And they said, oh, we want you to just do realism. You know what I mean? And again, that's not. I mean, I'm already there. You know what I mean? Like they can have me do other characters, and that's just how it goes. I mean, if you can do other voices, other characters, other accents, other ages, whatever the case may be, then most of the time they'll totally take advantage of that. But they said, no, we want you to just concentrate. We want you just to be in the they probably wanted me to be in the Ryo Hazuki mindset, just him all day, every day. Like they wanted me to be him. You know what I mean? And that's it. So that for me, I'm so spoiled on this first project for me to do voice acting. I was so spoiled to do this. So it's like, yeah, it's like they didn't want to distract me with a couple things.
What do you think of that?
Absolutely. Yeah. So probably a lot of people in this room are aware of how much time, effort, money, and I keep using the word passion goes into the project. Now, when I showed up, they showed me all of these concept art that they had done. They showed me all the research that they had done, all of the places that they had gone, the pictures that they took. They showed me the actual pictures of like, oh, we have this bridge in the game because we saw this bridge, we thought it was wonderful, and so we photographed it, documented it to, down to a minute, fine level. And we wanted this to be in the game, and so they showed me all of that research that they did. They showed me a huge big packet of characters, and I mean everybody. I mean from the person selling fruit or fish on the street to all of the main characters. They all had names. They all had a small thing to say about them, who they were, what their background was, what their blood type was. They gave a blood type to everybody in the project. They said, oh, this person is blood type A because, they're kind of that kind of personality. And, me being a Westerner, I was like, what? You know what I mean? So, yeah, I mean, most people know that's kind of like saying, what's your sign, right? What's your blood type? So, for them to do that to one person who might even say, like, oh, I don't know, I'm really new, so you might want to try over there. It's like, wow. They really, so much time and effort, detail. So they showed me all of that. And they showed me some possible outcomes in the future. They showed me some possible story. They really engrossed me into it. So yeah, before I even did anything, they gave me a copy of the game that I could play in Japanese with English subtitles. They gave me that so I could play there in Japan, which was also a big treat. So of course I was playing the game as I was voicing it. But yeah, they just took all the time that they wanted and needed to fully immerse me into the project before I even began. It was just several days of just that, just immersion. You know what I mean? And we had done some very light voice work the first few days, first week or something like that, you know what I mean? But yeah, it was a lot of getting into it and really showing me what the project was. Yeah. Yeah. So what did I think about the game? What did I think about the scale of it? Yeah, so as I mentioned, I was able to play the game in Japanese with the English subtitles, and yeah, I just, of course, I think we all remember the first time you can open up the drawers, you know what I mean? You can play some of the old classic Sega games, that kind of stuff. And I thought, yeah, like wow, yeah, like this is different, right? And we've always wanted that. I think that was kind of like the holy grail at the time. We were always wanting that as gamers because we always had a path to go on, and they always tried to get that open world experience. So, yeah, I remember playing it and thinking, yeah, this one's a little different. You know what I mean? And I remember stuff like, yeah, how open world it was, right? Like, and then I remember doing the QTE and that kind of stuff. And I thought, yeah, this is great. You know what I mean? Like, so. If you're asking what reaction I had, just remember the reaction that you had, and it was pretty much the same thing. You know what I mean? Just like mind blown. And then I thought, oh wait a minute, I'm actually a part of this project. Like I'm actually doing this. You know? So for me to be a gamer, to always want these things in a game, to actually see it come to life before you. I don't know, man. I mean, what can I say? It's like an honor and a treat. Just what's that? Yeah, and that's what I said before. The games that we have today are because of Shemmue, right? And I said before, the things that we kind of take for almost for granted, right? I mean, open world. Of course, we've really got some great stuff today. We got some great stuff today, but it's because it was built on the back of Shemmue, right? So, I mean, even something like, oh yeah, I remember my daughter was playing Minecraft story mode on our Apple TV, and they had QTE, and I was like, yes, right, we did that. And I was like, hey, you know that game that I did, we like invented that. So yeah, I mean, they're still doing that stuff today, you know, and I love that. It's great. I mean, when I see it again, it just makes me so happy that I can be a part of that. You know what I mean?
What's your favorite QTE?
You know, I guess the ones that burn in my mind are just like the ones that I failed. You know what I mean?
Give me story those plays in that one building in Shemmue 2.
Oh yeah. You know, I think. You know what? I think it was the first time that I ever experienced. They didn't tell me. I wasn't ready. You know what I mean? Like I didn't know. And I think there was the scene. I think you're chasing. Oh man, what is that actually? You know, the one that's actually burning in my brain right now, there were some, maybe it was with the planks. Maybe it was with planks. Yeah, you have to start over again. Yeah. I remember chasing after the backpack too, and Shenmue 2, that kind of stuff, you know what I mean? Yeah, I think that's what it is. That's what burns in my brain is when I failed it. And I was like, oh. It makes you so angry because you just feel like, I failed the game, I should just stop playing. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
When you went to Japan, did you ever get a chance to go to the actual town that was based on?
Oh, did I go to the towns that were in the game?
Yeah. Because they were based on real places.
Yeah, no, I didn't. Because they had me there all the time, like all day. Right? I mean, I guess I had the weekends. Well, I did live in Shinagawa, and then I lived in Tokyo, right next to Sega headquarters, which is not too far from Haneda Airport. You guys don't know that, because it's a smaller airport. But yeah, second time, I was able to bike to work, which was great. I had to take the train before. But then, when I got there, the second time, they set me up pretty sweet. The first time I was there, I was in a hotel, so everything was taken care of. It was like, I don't know, I felt like I was a movie star, you know, that kind of thing. And the second time, they actually set me up with an apartment, which was really nice. And when I got there, it was, see, the thing is, I love small, efficient places. So when they gave me this like business-sized apartment, you could walk down the hall and like right here is the shower, and right next to it is the toilet, and like I thought, man, you know, I'm long enough because I'm gaijin, you know. I can sit on the toilet and cook at the same time. I never even have to leave here. I can just sit here the whole time. No, but it's like it was just very like small, efficient, cool. You know what I mean? And I love that. And I thought, okay, well, I'm gonna need some pots and pans. I'm gonna need you know, that kind of thing. No, they gave me everything. You know, the mattress, pots and pans, the trash can, the desk, you know, everything. And then like I said, I was able to bike to work, right? So they even set me up with this tiny, cute little folding bike. It was like, you know, this big, and I could hit a button. And so yeah, I was able to bike to work. Oh, and the thing is too is that when there's this cute little like shopping area that reminds me so much of some of the places in the game, and I thought, man, when I'm playing the game, they got it right, because when I'm going through the shopping area to get to Sega headquarters, it's like, it looks like that. I'm like, oh, I know that girl. Oh, no, that's not. You know what I mean? Like that, one of the reasons that Shemmue is so successful is because, and I've described this before, it's like a good book, right? Where you leave your world for a time and you step into another place. And they're able to do that with Shenmue, right? So you leave your living room, you leave the States behind, you enter Japan in the 80s, because they just got it so right. And when you're walking through Japan, you still experience that today. Like you can still, you still know these places were built just like that. And people stand out there and they talk like that. You know what I mean? They actually, the vendors sound like that. The sounds of Japan are still there today because of, thousands of years of culture and people and all that kind of stuff. They just got it right, and that's why Shenmue is so successful. That's why when you hear that music, it brings you back in. Just like a good book would. You know what I mean? When you let's do something really famous like Lord of the Rings or something. You know what I mean? And somebody's able to describe the Mines of Moria or something. Like, oh yeah, I remember when we were down there and this happened, and then there was this and that. Like it goes through your brain. You know what I mean? So it's the same thing with Shemmue, right? Like you see a picture, you see a person, or you hear the music, or whatever the case may be, and man, it just like instantly brings you back in. That's why Shemmue was so successful, because they, Yes, sir.
What was the voice direction when you were recording lines? What was the direction?
Yeah.
Was there direction?
Yeah. Not as much, believe it or not. So when we auditioned, I believe we came up with characters, especially people like Eric or whatever. They would come up with characters and they said, yes, do that. And they kind of let the actors do their thing. You know what I mean? Like the only time that we kind of had some discussions or arguments was kind of the way how some of the characters would say things that sounded a little weird or off or funny, or you know what I mean? Like, and I know we're gonna talk about it, so I'll just bring up sailors, right? So I mean, we're talking about stuff like that, and we're like, hey, for us, just us, sounds a little weird. And we would talk about that kind of stuff, you know what I mean? Like, well, it just sounds like he's looking for a good time, if you know what I'm saying? So I mean, it just that kind of stuff. So we would kind of go back and forth, but we just decided to do it anyway. And I remember Eric Kelso and I had this conversation. We're like, man, we should just. They're telling us to do it. We should just do it. You know what I mean? The only thing that they said for me was that they said, well, the character he's only 18, so if you could just bring up the pitch of your voice a little bit, make it a little bit higher, then just make sure that he's not as he's not as deep, or I think I think the translator even said something like seasoned as I am. You know what I mean? So they said he's only 18. You know what I mean? He's experiencing these things for the first time. He's just bring up the voice just a little bit. And so that's what I did. So as far as voice acting is concerned, I think it's because I had that idea in my brain about this very stoic character, and the way that I just kind of thought, like, how would he talk? You know what I mean? This kid who's grown up, he's like had this martial arts background. His dad has this long history that he doesn't know. You know what I mean? Like, I just kind of thought, if that kind of person were to raise a boy he has a dojo attached to his house, you know what I mean? So like, who would he be? And so when I conjured up that character in my mind, they just liked it. You know what I mean? So for me, they didn't give me a whole lot. You know? I think for some reason that story I told about the audition as well. Weird, right? Not much feedback. They just kind of let me do it. You know what I mean? Let me get this guy in the back.
Did you ever think there was going to be a Shenmue 3?
Did I ever think there would be a 3?
Yeah.
Oh. I never gave up hope. Honestly, I really, see, the thing is that, and I say this a lot, I really want to drive it home. The reason I'm here now is because of you guys, you know? Because Shenmue fans are some of the greatest fans that, I mean, they never give up, you know? They never say die, they never, you know what I mean? Like, because of people like Adam, all right? And because there's so many, there are so many fans out there that demanded that 3 happen. That's why it happened, right? So, thanks for giving me a job, first of all. Thanks for making 3 happen, because really, think about it, right? I mean, if you're Yu Suzuki, he wants to do his project, you know what I mean? And then, you know, some people higher up with money say no, and so he's like, like, I really want, like, he loves the project, you know what I mean? He's really passionate about the project, he wants to do it, that kind of thing. But he was just hounded by it his entire life, right? Like, when Shenmue happened, it's just kind of like the Shenmue fan base made sure that it never went away. It was always in his mind all the time. So, like, he was just like, fine, I have to do it. You know, it's like, if I have to do it my own way, then so be it. So that's why it happened, just because you guys didn't let it go. So that, you know, if you ask me, did I think that 3 would happen? You know, as an actor, a lot of times I'm looking for the next job, and, you know, that's okay. In the end, I want to do things that are good. I want to make people happy. I just want to do good work. You know what I mean? Like, me as a person, I want to do good work. I want to make fans. Like I said, I just want to make fans happy. But Shemmue it's something different. It's its own thing. You know, and I talked about this to some of the people earlier. It's like, when I heard Shenmue 3 was coming, I heard just like you guys, when Shenmue 3 was coming out, I was like, yes! I can't wait to play! And I thought, oh wait, that means I have a job. I get to voice this now.
Negotiate a higher salary for it. Look, I won't do it unless,
I know, right? $1 million an hour. And,
did you actually negotiate with them and say, hey, look, you want my voice? You know,
No. And, you know, it's funny, I talked about this with my wife, and I said, dude, if I'm ever like an ultra movie star, and for some reason I'm like in Avengers or whatever, it's like, I have to tell my agent, like, look. I can do these movies for this amount of money, but if Shenmue 3 rolls around, I gotta take it, no matter what. Like, if if it's minimum wage an hour, I gotta take it. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm serious about that. Because it's, for me, I mean, of course, it's nice to get a paycheck, but I love this project. So I want to be a part of it. And I feel like I don't know. Do I? Like I said, thank you for giving me a job. I feel like, hey, I owe it to you guys to be there for you guys no matter what. You know what I mean? So first of all, that's how I feel. Like I want to be there for you first, right? Second of all, again, I mentioned this before. I love the project. I love being a part of it. I love the game itself. I'm a fan, right? So that's another reason why I'm driven to do it. So I don't care. You know what I mean? I don't care who I am or what I'm doing. It's like if Shemmue rolls around, I'm doing it. You know. So yeah, I want to make bread. All right, I want to feed my family, but at the same time, it's like I'm doing the project. You know what I mean? So, let me get yours here. Yeah, a team member from Yu Suzuki actually gave me a call. So, again, thank you for giving me a job because the fan reaction was so large that when the E3 came out and there was a voiceover actor who kind of sounded like me a little bit and wasn't me, there was a large reaction, and I'm not here to say anything about that, but because of that, they ended up finding me and calling me and said, hey, would you like to be a part of the project? And yeah, you know what I mean? Like they reached out to me because I think it's because of you guys. They said that so many people said that it had to happen. I guess it had to happen. You know what I mean? So I did. Yeah, I was just as surprised as you were. So I was bringing my daughter back from something. I don't even remember what it was. I don't know if it was dance class or school or something like that. I don't even remember. And I'm a dad, so I got a bunch of things in my hand. My daughter's with me, and my phone in my pocket is like. And I thought, okay, either like there's another 9/11 that's happening, or it's Shenmue 3. Right? Like, something crazy is going on. And I don't know, I kind of had that feeling, like, again, there's all this stuff, and I'm like, oh, I can't just, what's going on with my phone? You know what I mean? Like, my leg's about to rattle off my head. And I just kind of had that feeling, like, I don't know, could it be some Shenmue news? Because usually when something weird happens, some photo drops, somebody makes an announcement, there's some sort of, I don't know, Yu Suzuki came on and said something that made somebody go crazy. It's usually Shemmue, right? So it's like but it was different. There was a lot of pinging, a lot of weird stuff that was going on. And so I get in the door, and my wife has the iPad in front of her, and she's like, "Did you hear?" I was like, "Is it Shemmue?" And she's like, "Yeah." So yeah, when she came up to me with the iPad, and she just kind of had this almost happy look in her face with the "Did you hear?" moment, yeah, I kind of had a feeling it was Shenmue 3. And yeah, I found out just like you guys. So.
I know. I think a lot of it's I didn't play the game. My question is, are you going to give us the answer?
Do I know what happens? I presume that he leaves the cave. Right? I don't think we're going to have all of 3 in the cave. Like, we're not going to be crawling around finding answers. He learns how to rock climb, bouldering. He's like, that's what happened to Chai, right? He was in a cave for like 14 years, turned into Golem or something. Yeah, no, see, I haven't had a choice. This is another thing. I want to let everybody know that I haven't had the opportunity to voice anything in Shenmue 3 yet. So they, I don't know. You know what I mean? Adam and I were talking about this just recently. The reason I think a lot of people really wanted to know what's going on is because Shemmue 2 left on such a cliffhanger, right? So there's a lot of kind of mysterious things that are going on, you know what I mean? We don't know, like it seems kind of cool, but we, like what are these mirror things, you know? But at the end of 2, like the world changes, you know what I mean? Like, oh wait, there is magic. There is like something mystical and, you know, there is, you know, they talk about destiny and it's like, is this some sort of destiny? Like, what is going on? Like, all of a sudden, everything changes. Everything switches. Everything's different. So that's why, you know what I mean? People are so hyped about Shenmue 3, or they want Shenmue 3 to come out so much, because the end of 2 was a mind flip, right? Like, everything changed. Everything was different. So, probably, you know, again, we were talking about this, probably one reason that people were so crazy about Shenmue 3 coming out is because of that ending, right? Yeah, we just want to know what's going on. Yeah. Have I had is there something I can get a chance to? Yes.
I have a question. As a gamer, how did you feel hearing your voice coming on something that you did, like a game? How did it feel for you? Was it surreal? How did it feel?
Yeah, it's a little weird to hear yourself when you're playing. It is a little weird, I have to admit. But you know, being an actor or performer myself, I should be kind of used to those things. You know what I mean? But playing a game,
it's different.
And hearing my voice, it's different, right?
Yeah.
So, being a gamer, yeah, I was excited about that. I always wanted that to happen, so I was kind of hoping and anticipating for something like that. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's hard for me. See, this is one thing as an actor. It's one of those things where you kind of have to see yourself. You have to see yourself perform, because if you're doing something on stage, like I said, I was a professional dancer at the time. It's really hard for me to see myself like dancing or something, you know what I mean? Oh man, it's so hard. Like I break out in sweats. It's just, I don't know, because I'm like, oh, you're doing that wrong. You're doing, oh god, you suck. You know? So I think a lot of us could experience that. You know what I'm talking about, right? But as a performer, you give your all to everybody all the time. Like it's like we're the storytellers, right? I like to be the one to give those stories to people for your entertainment, you know what I mean, for you guys to enjoy. So it's hard for me to see or hear myself, but it's like it's something that I need to do, you know. But the Shenmue project, when I looked at it, I thought, yeah, I tried to get that character as much as I could. I tried to get Hazuki's mindset, and I think because of all the help and support Sega gave me at the time, it was really easy for me to go in and do my job and to get that Hazuki character all the time. So when I see myself and play myself on the game, I'm still able to enjoy it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not able to hate myself all the time. I'm actually able to enjoy the game. So that's nice.
That's cool.
You know? So. Yeah. See, that's cool, right? Like, so Eric Helson is not only my buddy, but he's my buddy in the game too. How awesome is that? So we kind of had this brother relationship when I was living there. You know what I mean? He's like my older brother. He showed me around Japan. He, fed me way too much alcohol, and he's just stuff you do to your younger brother. You know what I mean? So for us to have that kind, seriously, because my brothers were older. We have a different father, so I didn't really have that kind of brotherly relationship with my brothers. Like my youngest brother is 10 years older than me, so it was real adversarial all the time, right? So it was nice to have that kind of family relationship with Eric Kelso. So when he came into the studio and we were acting together, man, it was like the best day. When they told me Eric Kelso's coming in tomorrow, I was like, it's going to be a good day tomorrow, you know? So yeah, he's a great guy. He does great work. He's a great voice actor. And it was a pleasure working with him. And when he came in and we were able to do scenes together, it was some good scenes, you know? And he, again, was able to work off of me and work off some of the other characters. And he's like, you know, he's a professional. He's really, really good at what he does. And he's a good person. If you ever get a chance to meet him, you know, if you guys ever go to Japan or some sort of convention or whatever, he's not that, you know, he's a little bit harder to meet, but if you do, he's an awesome guy. I recommend meeting him. Yeah, he's a good guy. Yes.
How did it feel to be specifically requested back by the fans for Shenmue 3 after all those years?
Yeah. Well, it's very humbling, right? So she asked, like, what is it to be asked back from the fans? Seriously, guys, thank you so much. It's hard for me because I'm not. I think I just described to you about myself. Like I work hard. I try to do things. You know what I mean? But I'm very critical of myself, right? And that's, you know, a lot of people. But for you guys to ask me back, wow, just like, you know, it's so humbling. Thank you so much. You know, so for that kind of reaction to happen, of course, my first thought is, well, why? You know, there's a lot of great people out there, a lot of great voice actors that do all kinds of stuff, and fans requested me back, like, wow, why? You know, thank you. So it's. So I have to go through that in my brain, right? Like, okay, it's okay that people like me. It's okay. You know what I mean? So I'll just do my best, and hopefully you'll continue to like it. You know? Okay. Okay. Good. All right.
Now that the HD collection's out, what's it like for you hearing a lot of modern gamers kind of writing off the game as boring?
Sure.
Or like not giving it a chance that it deserves?
Sure. Yeah, that's okay. If they don't like the game, that's fine. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, like, do you think they're missing out?
I do. You know, it's kind of like